Welcome to Jurassic Room. Now, I apologize for the previous, sorry, I had to record this again because I could not find the right sites and I wasted a lot of time, rambling on. So I'm going to get on with this now. Now, I'm working on, right now, for tonight, I want to try and do this King Kong video, which will be basically everything we know about King Kong so far. New information that's come out at New York Comic-Con. Oh, my tank. That was a bit bad. Sorry, crap. And also a Mesozoic video in which I display my top 100 species I want in the game. Now, actually, Marcus Jones, I believe it's Marcus Jones, you know who you are if you watch my videos. You're on Facebook on Mesozoica. Has got really great lists. But anyway, basically I had too much fun and I had to put in the 100. I had 60, but I had to add the make it a 100 list. So anyway, first we'll start off with the website's synopsis, Kong Skull Island's website synopsis of the film. And here's how it goes. On March 10, 2017, the producer of Godzilla Transport, dadgummit. Okay, sorry guys. In March 10, 2017, the producers of Godzilla transport audiences to the birthplace of one of the most powerful monster myths of all time, in Kong Skull Island. From Warner Bros. Pictures and Legendary Pictures, when a scientific expedition to an uncharted island awakens titanic forces of nature, a mission of discovery becomes an explosive war between monster and man. Tom Hiddleston, Samuel L. Jackson, Brie Larson, John Goodman, and John C. Reilly star in a thrilling and original new adventure that reveals the untold story of how Kong became king. So, this is from New York Comic-Con, and I'll be explaining my theories and everything that I've also explained in previous videos. So, anyway, I also want to show you guys. Andrea found a praying mantis. Where is he? There he is. She wants to keep it. It's a praying mantis. Pretty cool. I was playing with it and all that. Let me make sure it's charged. Okay, it's still charging. So anyway, let me adjust the camera. Let's get on with this. So here's the beginning of Sci-Fi's page. This is from sci-fi.com. Monarch have embedded secret images and information on the new Kong Skull Island poster we reported on yesterday. The secret images and messages can only be viewed when shining a black light over them, and thanks to our Facebook friend Brie Long, we now have 8 close-up photos of these hidden features, with more on the way. First up, we have a hidden message with coordinates labeled Geological Disturbance, Abnormal Readings, and Flora-Fauna Harvest Site. And that picture will be up probably right here. So, I'm looking at this picture. So, from what I've heard about people, Flora-Fauna can relate to the monster Biollante, which really sounds interesting to me. Biollante would actually sound like a really interesting monster for Kong Skull Island. It would probably match, the island. It's basically, if you don't know what Biollante is, I watched Godzilla vs. Biollante. Basically, Biollante is a living giant plant with giant teeth, and it's part plant, part the soul of a scientist's daughter. That's the original version. This version would probably just be a monster plant, just snagging things with its teeth vines. So that'd be interesting. Flora-Fauna, which means it's got to be something alive. Flora, probably a living plant, is what it sounds like, just what people describe. And that would explain geological disturbance and harvest site. To me, that's what I think. And I'll be posting the photo also of the island before all of this, so it's just so you know. Next, we have another coordinate labeled Boneyard with a message reading Hypervore leaving the Boneyard. It's likely the location featured in Kong Skull Island trailer. The term hypervore could reference the type of species Kong belongs to. However, the next photo suggests a more official term for Kong. Perhaps hypervores describe any superior creature which feeds off nuclear energy. That'd be interesting if they introduced nuclear energy to the Kong Skull Island. That would be interesting to see how that affects it. Alright. Hold on, I'm checking this out. I'm also looking at the parts of the island. Leavings. That's an odd choice of words for that. So next, the next message indicates the supposed whereabouts of Kong himself. The messages shown here contain some early or fairly big reveals. Kong is considered an apex primate, officially with a message reading Predator, Guardian, Roaming, and Deity. The passage underneath this line is especially interesting, adolescent superspecies. This essentially confirms that Kong is not fully grown in Kong Skull Island, giving him ample time to grow enough to square up against Godzilla in their 2020 matchup. Now this is something I said from the beginning when I saw the trailer, that Kong was probably, since we learned he's only going to be 100 feet tall, is that he was probably going to be juvenile, which is very interesting considering his titanic proportions of him being over 100 feet tall. So that's very interesting. That's something I called very early on. Same with many other fans who are, coming out saying that. Sorry. Darn. When I start talking, my mouth starts producing spit on a massive level, and it sucks bad. So, this is a very interesting photo, to say the least. And I'm wondering if the circle is where that is, or if it is... I think it's where the Monarch symbol is, yeah. So this would probably be where Kong is on the island. And I think I know where this part of the... I'll check out the map. And I think this is where the sort of peninsula of the other islands are. And if you ever notice the map at the beginning, you'll see it at the beginning. I'll probably show it again at the end. The island almost looks somewhat like Africa. The way it's, shaped, and then with the 2 extra islands. It kind of looks like Africa in a way. Okay. Darn it, hold on. This section of the poster seems to indicate a storm system or unstable presence outside the border of Skull Island. The message warns of a storm beyond Supercell. So, I would assume this is basically the storm that's always outside of Kong, or the Skull Island, that interferes with radio frequencies, that's always coating the island in fog. Like in every other movie, because of course in every alliteration, Skull Island is always coated in a thick sheet of fog. Okay, so the following images are especially fascinating because they reveal actual monsters, or at least their remains, and they're huge. So from what I see of this, it appears to be, from what people also say on another site, it looks somewhat like an eel-like monster. I can definitely see it now. You see the elongated body and the what seems to be a very short, narrow head. Now, I've seen this picture, and it looks different from the other picture, which I'll show you, which I'm very excited for. I'll show you. So it'll be interesting to see Kong fight like a giant eel, similar to how he fought the giant snake in the 80s version. But I'll say this, he better fight some dinosaurs, because the 80s version is screwed up by making him fight a giant snake. I'm not a big fan of the 80s version. I like the beginning. I'm not too big a fan of the film overall. I love the 1933 film, and I absolutely love Peter Jackson's 2005 remake. It's my second favorite film. Okay, so what it reads is, this one above seems to depict a massive eel-like creature. The scales almost look like the back of Godzilla's neck. The next one below shows the skull of a massive marine reptile. Its skull is clearly visible, yet the rest of its body remains buried under Skull Island, or perhaps submerged in an underwater cave. Now, I don't think that these are the actual size of the animals compared to the island. I mean, they're just way too massive even for this universe. I mean, this picture right here, I mean, just going under the island, this animal would be thousands of feet long if it were this big. Now, I will show you, if you look at these pictures, and it says here, there's 2 of them here about the same skull. And it says here, here's a close-up, better shot of the skull. Now, if you look at this skull, guys, To me, this does not look like a marine reptile skull. And if you look at the original, this what almost looks like, it doesn't, coming off the back of the head, it doesn't look like, vertebra to me. What this looks like, to me, it looks like a crest. And there's only one thing that can have this appearance with a crest like that, and it's some sort of pterosaur. And for a pterosaur to look like this and be this huge, possibly, there's only one real possibility, unless they create a new version. It's gotta be Rodan. I think it's Rodan, because, I mean, look at this. A long, very pointy skull, even though it's got teeth, which is pretty cool. You can add teeth for this universe, it's monsters. But this does not look like, to me, a, neck line of columns. This looks like a straight-up crest, like a pterosaur, like what Rodan had. And I think this would work out so great for Kong Skull Island. Oh, wait a second. I'm looking at it now, and I think I now see what everyone's talking about. Wait. I don't know. That could be just part of the island. I think that's just part of the island, from what I'm looking at. It doesn't quite look like... It is so very hard to tell. In one way, if you look at it, now that I see it again, it looks somewhat like, it continues on to a, snake-like body. But, it kind of... to me, it looks more like a pterosaur's face. So we'll only see. I think I've kind of changed my perspective, because when I looked at it originally, I didn't really see. I thought it ended at the crest, and it looked like a pterosaur to me. I still think it'd be amazing to have Rodan in this movie, but I think from here what I see is it does continue on, like everyone says, into a sort of more... But the thing is, you got two animals that look almost identical with, like, the snake-like proportions, so I hope they don't continue with that. Like, I want to see some sort of theropod-like dinosaur, because in the movie we see the giant Triceratops skull. I love the way that would go, because if you think like old dinosaur films, the dinosaurs are always very massive and bigger than life. Like, you remember Planet of the Dinosaurs, Valley of Gwangi, The Lost World, and a few others. They're a little oversized, and I think that would be amazing to show off in this film. I think it would be really cool. So I'm kind of split now. To me, it looks more like a pterosaur skull, but from what I also see, it does look like it continues on to a bigger body and then a tail, which is very odd. So you can see the picture here, and let me hear y'all's input. To me, I think it looks more like a pterosaur than a marine reptile, but see what everyone thinks, and maybe we'll get some more pictures out. Because see, when I look at it here, it doesn't show more of it, it just shows what looks like to be a skull. Which is why I think it looks cooler as a pterosaur. You can see it's this one, which will be up. I mean, look, you don't really see it continue, just the crest. That's why I think it is more of a pterosaur. So we gotta continue. Finally, the portion of the poster features Monarch intel for Skull Island. It shows they have codenamed the project Skull and date the report April 7th, 1973. There is more to the message, and we will be receiving more images of this section soon. So be sure to check back often. Okay. Bring the truth is what it seems to say. Okay. And from what I see here, it says Arc Record, Nexus Source, Landsat Intercept. I think it says... Sorry, I'm just reading from what it seems to say here. Okay. Landsat Intercept refer... risk flags, multiple C addendum, something, Randa William? So I think that's so I think we got a name here. Randa I think it says Officer Rhonda Williams. Or Rhonda Williams. So that's interesting. I wonder if this will be an actual character in the movie. Report 1, Monarch terrorist search active. So this could mean that Monarch is on the island and that they're searching it. And let me finish this off here, down here. Oh my gosh, 15 minutes already. I didn't know it took that much time. So much has been revealed on this poster, with so much more yet to be discovered as we receive new photos. This poster will be updated accordingly. To recap though, we now know Kong is still in his relative infancy at the time of this report, April 1973. We also know Skull Island is home to many massive creatures. For more breaking news and analysis on Kong Skull Island, keep your browsers locked on Sci-Fi. Another big thanks to our friend Brian Long for exclusively sharing these photos with us. Okay, so that's the end of that. Okay, so from what I see, I still think that's more. It looks more like a pterosaur than it does a marine reptile. That's just my opinion. Yeah, but the pictures are up. Y'all can see for yourselves and go check out more stuff for Kong Skull Island. I just want to see more dinosaurs, though, as well. So, what did y'all think about this info? And from what I've learned, what I've gathered, this is some of the stuff. So here are the creatures so far somewhat confirmed. There are giant spiders, possibly called Kumonga in the movie. You know, based off Kumonga, the spider in the Godzilla universe. There are giant triceratops on the island, apparently. Because the bones are white, so they have to be fairly recently killed. Biollante is a possibility now, because flora fauna. The giant eel we see. Rodan's a possibility, because I believe that looks more like a pterosaur to me than a marine reptile. It just looks very strange. I hope we get some more pictures to find out what it is. And it's only how many months until Kong Skull Island? Let's see. Okay, it's October, November, December, January, February, March. Only about 5 months until Kong Skull Island comes in theaters. I cannot wait for trailer 2. And then Kong, of course. We don't know what the scientific name of his species is, but he's an apex primate. So that's very interesting. And we know that Monarch is now on the island, and they will be conducting the study of Skull Island. Sorry. Anyway, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Hope y'all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more videos I'm going to be posting. I'm going to edit it together and post it for y'all. Hope y'all enjoy the video. Jurassic Roomies.